Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here, as you guys can see up on the screen. Today I want to talk a little bit about Sofi Technologies Incorporated. This is ticker symbol SOFI, the exact same name as the company. And today was kind of a rough day for Sofi, but honestly I don't think it's as bad as it looks, and we'll get into that. Yes, this thing was down 3.97% today. We started out close to even, and then obviously just went really red really fast, but we actually had a nice intraday bounce back. Before ending up where we ended up, which was almost 4% down on the day, and then down another 1.11% after hours. But the reason why I'm saying this isn't necessarily as bad as it looks, even though being down 4% in a day really sucks, especially when you've already been down as much as this stock has been in the last couple of weeks, last couple months, and year to date. But the whole market had a very rough day. The Dow Jones was down 2.38%. That's a big downward move for something like the Dow. S&P down 2.8%. NASDAQ down almost 4% in a single day. I mean, that's crazy. We're getting into some very bad territory at this point. And then the Russell was down 3.26%. So yes, 4% is not a great day by any means. Very bad day. But, honestly was keeping pace with some of the major indices. So, for a single stock and for a volatile stock and for a, unprofitable kind of speculative stock like Sofi to be keeping up with some of the major indices, I don't think this is as horrible of a day as it looks, but we'll be going over all the latest for Sofi in this video. So definitely drop a like if you guys do enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. And subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. Of course, as always, there's not going to be any financial advice in this video. I'm not telling you guys to buy anything, not telling you guys to sell anything. Just going over the latest and giving some of my thoughts and opinions. With that being said, let's get right into this. Sofi, obviously, we are now down almost 60% year to date. Very rough. But at least according to Yahoo Finance, for Sofi, online figures look promising ahead of earnings. And one of the things that they are talking about here is the fact that from quarter 4 of 2021 to the first quarter of 2022, total unique visitors have increased by 52%. This is talking about website traffic from 20.4 million to 31 million. And compared to last year, the growth is even more impressive. 417%. Now, this is due to a lot of factors. Obviously, more advertising. Maybe it's the Super Bowl. Maybe it's NFC Championship game. All the stuff that was going on for Sofi. Maybe it was the bank charter. They've been in the news a lot. They're a popular stock. Who knows? But again, this is at least what some people say is a good sign for Sofi. Again, if more people are heading to the website, that's going to mean more engagement. That's going to mean more users. That's going to mean more people returning. That's going to mean, more people potentially using more financial services with Sofi, using the whole umbrella, using the whole suite of services, all that stuff. But overall, it's definitely not a bad sign to see that kind of website traffic growth. Now, obviously, on their earnings, we'll have to see, how this quarter went. We'll have to see, where revenue's at, where new users are at, things like that, where customer acquisition costs are, what the average kind of service per user is, and then, of course, what they're kind of looking for going into the future as well, because the guidance piece is always going to be very interesting. But, a little bit of good news, I think, here from Yahoo Finance on a pretty bad day. That was kind of interesting. But we do have, some downsides as well. Sofi stock could fall, at least according to investorplace.com, could fall 36.5% to 80% of book value during a recession. Again, Sofi stock could fall to 80% of book value if the Fed dramatically raises rates this year. This is something that people have been talking about. Obviously, a lot of people are scared about a recession, maybe coming this year, maybe coming sometime within the next 5 to 10 years. And in a scenario like that, oftentimes, financial services, financial institutions, stocks, companies like that do not fare very well in a recession. Now, that stuff can be temporary. Obviously, as the economy comes back and as everything comes back, they have a chance to bounce back strong. But, you can go through extended periods of time where these companies get hit very hard. Now, obviously, this is a pretty dramatic prediction, potentially how much further Sofi stock could fall and where they could be to 80% of their book value, which would be pretty crazy. But we will have to wait and see. Obviously, this is a risk with Sofi, but with all stocks right now. If we go into a recession, tons of stocks are going to get hit hard. It's not like there's many recession-proof stocks out there. Now, yes, there are some plays that are going to handle it better than others, but for the most part, if we do get hit with a recession that lasts, a couple of years or whatever, that's just going to be probably a rough time for everyone in the markets, but we'll have to get through it. And then eventually, hopefully, there will be brighter days ahead. But again, maybe something to potentially factor in when you're looking at SoFi. But again, none of us are economists. None of us know when a recession is going to, even economists don't know when a recession is going to happen. So I don't think it's really anything that you can bank on too hard. But maybe you want to hedge your bets a little bit. I don't know. But at least keep this stuff in mind that yes, financial institutions can or could potentially get hit pretty damn hard during a recession. We also have this. SoFi's downward journey will continue this week. Again, at least according to Investor Place, SoFi stock is down more than 58% this year, but the new lows are a chance to make your move. So they are saying that, yes, they do think things are going to get worse before they get better. Very, very popular opinion for SoFi stock right now. I hear that like all the time, but they're also saying that, hey, this is an opportunity to buy. They think things are going to get worse before they get better, but they do think they're going to get better. They think this thing's going to bounce back. And again, that is, I think, at least a sensible theory. It might not always work out, the buy low, sell high, but this is definitely a buy low opportunity. SoFi is way, way, way down right now. We're not at all-time lows. All-time low is 614. The all-time low is 614. So we did actually hit an all-time low today. I didn't even know that. Yes, we hit another new all-time low today. So this is absolutely, buying low. Now, that doesn't mean it can't go lower, but you're not buying high right now. You're not buying while this thing is insanely overvalued, or at some ridiculous price or something like that. That doesn't mean you're going to get insane returns. It doesn't mean it's ever going to get back to, the 25 or 26 or whatever it was previously. But at least it's easier to argue, and at least logically it makes more sense to buy this thing at 629 than it does to buy it at 25. I don't know. Definitely something to keep in mind. We also have this. Seeking Alpha put out an article that said their latest is breaking down the bear case for SoFi. And some of their main points include stock-based compensation and share dilution, which, are kind of one in the same in a lot of ways. Obviously, stock-based compensation is just pumping out more and more shares. Dilution can happen from that stock-based compensation as well, but obviously dilution can happen in other ways too, just in terms of like raising money, funds, all this stuff. But yes, these are two very, very big concerns. But I do think it's important that, their two big things are not necessarily things knocking of like the business model. They're not saying SoFi sucks. They're not saying, the business is so terrible that they don't believe in the story or the growth or the potential of the opportunities. They're just saying, hey, they got to get the stock-based compensation under control and dilution under control. Now, yes, those do have to do with the company and their strategy and all that stuff. I'd be way more concerned if they're like, oh, their loans suck, or they don't know what they're doing in terms of financial services, or things like that. And then apparently in the article as well, they have a little blurb talking about Technesis and how every single Technesis banking customer needs a payment processor like Galileo. Every single Galileo account needs to have access to banking core technology like Technesis, and every single one of these accounts in the United States needs a chartered bank to sweep their deposits into. So they're saying how SoFi just has a massive, massive network of these three things all working perfectly together. And they're saying 1 + 1 + 1 could equal 5, with SoFi wrapping together all their different things that they own and control now and using them to each one put together is going to make the other one stronger than the other, and that's a home run opportunity for SoFi, which I think is the bull case for a lot of people. Definitely what a lot of people believe in. We also have this, some people on StockTwit saying that SoFi's book value per share is $5.29. This is close to pricing in zero growth. Markets are broken. And just like I said, when SoFi was at some crazy prices, we can look back over the last year, 5 years or whatever, and see that SoFi was at 25, it was at 23, it was at 22, and hey, maybe it was crazy overvalued back then. Maybe things were insane. Maybe it was way overbought. Maybe people were pricing in way too much growth. But things have to be true on the opposite side then as well. At some point, SoFi has to be oversold. At some point, we have to be getting to ridiculously low valuations. At some point, we have to be, not giving them the fair shake and pricing in growth or opportunity or, the potential at all. Like I said, just kind of more things point to, hey, that buy low, sell high mentality. Also, people talking about the fact that SoFi splurged a little bit on advertising this quarter. And, just kind of some people discussing stuff like that, talking about, this is, at least from this thing, I don't even know what this is from, but people are saying it's from Tip Ranks. And I don't know if anyone really gives a good answer in this thread. Yeah, I don't know. This was kind of a weird one. I just thought it was kind of interesting showing But yeah, this is this is people who visit SoFi Technologies website. This isn't even their advertising spend. So I don't know. I didn't even mean to put this in there. I was looking at that. But yeah, I mean, this is a good sign at least though that yes, our number of people who visit SoFi Technologies is going way up. March was definitely a big month, and I know we talked about that a little bit previously. And then lastly, to end this video, I wanted to go over this: the fact that Biden will not cancel all student loan debts, at least according to Zestis on Reddit. And I think this is something that a lot of people believe. Like, no, seriously, he could have done it for midterms instead of just extending the payment freeze. Instead, he announced a larger grant package for future student borrowers. And I think Biden himself has come out and said, that, hey, he's not really planning on canceling all student loan debts. Maybe we're going to do 10,000. Maybe we're not even going to do 10,000. And that does kind of bode well for SoFi in a lot of ways. Obviously, they've said that they will be fine with or without student debts or whatever. They, if this thing gets extended indefinitely, that they're still going to be all right. But it does kind of show that this moratorium getting pushed back is just a short-term issue, that at some point, the student loan thing is going to come back and it is going to be a source of revenue for them. Obviously, you'd like to have that money sooner rather than later, but most people are under the impression that Biden's not going to wipe out all student loan debt. There is still going to be a lot of money to be made in this area, and SoFi is going to be able to get their hands on it eventually, but it just might take some time. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Let me drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about SOFI. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe, save today, and all my latest content. Hope to catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.